welcome back. Today we are going to talk about the distributive property of binary operation, which is basically about sharing to distribute. Alright, so let's look at the basic distributive property in arithmetic. For example, if we have a problem like 5 times 3 plus 2, right? 5 times a group of two quantities, 3 plus 2, that we have to simplify. We can use the basic order of operation to simplify this, right? By multiplying the 5 by the group. So, we're going to have 5 times 3 plus 2 is what? 5. Okay, then we'll go ahead and see that 5 times 5 is what? 25. Good. Another way that we can do this is to use the distributive property, where we'd have to distribute the quantity 5 to the two quantities in a bracket, right? And so we are going to see that, let me put a line over here. Good. We're going to have 5 times 3, so we have 5 times 3 plus 5 times what? 2. 5 times 2. So we have distributed the quantity 5 between the two quantities in the bracket, right? So 5 times 3 is what? 15. Then we have plus 5 times 2 is what? 10. So we can go ahead and say that 15 plus 10 is what? 25, which is actually the same as what we got over here. Right? The two quantities are equivalent. And so the distributive property is actually a way of rewriting the basic order of operation method that we know in a different form. Okay, yes. We can also have, let's say, 4 times 5 minus 2. Alright, good. We can simplify this using the basic order of operation method we know. Alright, by saying that we're going to multiply the 4 by the group of quantity we have over here. So we have 4 times 5 minus 2 is actually 3, right? Which, if you simplify, you get 4 times 3, which is what? 12. Good. We can also use the distributive property by distributing the 4 to the two quantities in the bracket, right? Which is going to be 4 times 5. So we have 4 times 5 minus 4 times what? 2. Good. And so if you simplify this, you only have 4 times 5, which is what? 20, minus 4 times 2, which is what? 8. Right? So if you subtract 8 from 12, if you subtract 8 from 20, you're going to get what? 12, which is equivalent to what we've got over here. Alright? So if you use the basic order of operation method that we know, you get the same answer as using the distributive property. And that is why I said the distributive property is a way of rewriting the basic order of operation method that we know in a different form. Alright, it doesn't matter if the quantities you have in the bracket are more than 2. You can have something like 3 times 2 plus 3 plus what? 4, something like this. You can simplify this using the basic order of operation method that we know, such as 3 times 2 plus 3 is 5 plus 4 is 9. Right, we have 3 times 9, which is going to give us what? 27. We can also do this using the distributive property by distributing the quantity 3 to all the elements or the numbers we have in the bracket. So we're going to have 3 times what? 2 plus 3 times 3 plus 3 times what? 4. Right, good. And so 3 times 3 is going to give us 6 plus 3 times 3 is 9, plus 3 times 4 is what? 12. And then we can simplify this further to get 6 plus 9 as 15, and then 15 plus 12 will give us what? 27, which is actually equivalent to what we got over here. Alright, good. Alright, so before we go to the binary operation, let me talk about this. We can apply the distributive property in solving complicated multiplications like 5 times 47. Alright, if you have to perform a multiplication in which the number looks big like this, sometimes it becomes a problem, but we can easily apply the distributive property over here and see that we can rewrite this as 5 times 50 minus 3. Actually, 50 minus 3 is the same as what? 47. Alright, good. And then this would be a lot easier to do by applying the distributive property. Alright, because this is equal to 5 times 50 minus, right, minus 5 times what? 3. 5 times 3. Right, good. This will be very easy to do even without using tables and calculators, because 5 times 50 will give us what? 250, minus 5 times 3 will give us what? 15. You can do this multiplication without using a calculator. Then you can easily go ahead and subtract 15 from what? 250, which is going to give you what? 235. Right, good. The same problem you can let me put this one aside. We can simplify this. 5 times 47, we can rewrite this one also as 5 times 40 plus what? 7. So 40 plus 7 is actually the same as what? 47. Alright, so it's either you do it 50 minus 3 or what? 40 plus 7. Good. So this will be equal to, using the distributive property, 5 times what? 40 plus 5 times what? 7. 5 times 7. Good. And then, always we do the multiplication first. So 5 times 40, you can do this without using calculator. 5 times 40 will give us what? 200, plus 5 times 7 is what? 35. Alright, so this is a lot easier than this one, because you can multiply 5 times 40 without calculator, and then 5 times 7 without calculator. Good. So now you can go ahead and see that 200 plus 35 will give you 235, which is actually the same as what we got over here. Alright. You can also have an example like 3 times 125. Right? Good. We can rewrite this one as 3 times 100 plus 2 plus 20 plus what? 5. Good. 3 times 125 may be difficult for you to evaluate without using tables or calculator, but then if you're able to expand the 125 like we have over here, it should be a lot easier. And say that 3 times 100 using the distributive property, 3 times 100 plus 3 times 20 plus 3 times 5. Okay, so plus over here 3 times what? 5. And then we can perform this multiplications without using tables or calculator. This will be equal to 3 times 100 is what? 300, plus 3 times 20, we know this one will give us 60, plus 3 times 5 will give us what? 15. And you can easily add these three numbers. 300 plus 60 will give us 360, plus 15 will give us 375. So the distributive property is mostly helpful when performing operations or multiplications involving big values like this. Yes. All right, so let's go back to where we started. All right. Yes, and then talk about the binary operations. These are basic binary operations that we've been using. So in the first example, we have 5 times 3 plus 2, right? Good. We have two operational signs, the multiplication and then the addition over here. All right. And we performed the operation using the basic order of operation method, and we also used the distributive property method. And then we saw that the two sides or the two methods are giving us equivalent answers. In that case, we say that the operation multiplication is what? Distributive over what? Addition, right? Multiplication is distributive over what? Addition. Good. And in case over here too, we have two operational signs over here, the multiplication and what? Subtraction. Right, and then we use the basic order of operation method. We had 12. We used the distributive property, and then what? We got 12. Since that is true, we can conclude that the operation multiplication is distributive over what? Subtraction. The operation multiplication is distributive over what? Subtraction. Thanks for watching.